What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to Sunless Sea Zubmariner. My name is Splattercat. Very happy to have you here today as we hang out for a little while. I really am excited about getting back to this game. Every time the channel gets a little bit busy, I take this series and I shelve it for a little bit, but then we come back. In all honesty, sailing on the Frigglebits Maynard class frigate is probably one of my favorite things I get to do here on the channel. So welcome on back. In the previous episode, we had actually made really good progress at completing the Monkey King's tomb or whatever it was. And it had ended up with some form of resolution. We had gotten some stuff. Look at that. I have romantic literature. Note, in London, customs duty is paid on love stories, even illustrated love stories. Wasn't there something I needed romantic literature for? I needed romantic literature for something, and I don't recall exactly what it was. They want me to, let's see, join the Pirates of the Z. I can join a raid on the Empire of Hands. I probably don't want to do that. I can poison the cannibal pirates. It'll take me supplies no more than 99. Their leader toasts guarantees they will at least drink some wine. This vintage will have a particular kick. I do recall that being one of those things that I was supposed to do, and they are cannibals after all, but then again, so am I. So this shows a level of hypocrisy on my half that I'm not sure that I can live with. But nah, we'll poison them. A toast, bellows the boisterous pirate, leading a new round of quaffing from atop the table. To the good captain, to her enduring majesty, may we eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we... His face freezes, his grip on the mug slips, his legs fall limp, and he crashes down onto the table. The wood cracks, and bone cutlery flies. He lies gray-faced, staring you in the eye with a dying look born not of hate, but the deepest disappointment. Somehow that's so much worse. Just disappointment from English people for some reason. Just, it makes me feel bad deep down inside. Like if there was ever a group of people that you wanted to not disappoint, I'd like to think it was English people. It just feels like they do a really good job working with the tools of disappointment to have it have maximum effectiveness and psychological damage. Envoys from the Wild Wheel Court are soon at the scene to collect supplies and burn down the village. Wow, they got 60 supplies from that, and they're actually pretty happy about it too. I mean, I've poisoned my own people for the benefit of baboons and gibbons. Nah, these things happen from time to time. Just consider it a momentary lapse of sanity from somebody who really wants to see what happens when you finish the Zeppelin, because I don't think I've ever actually finished that subquest. Let's jump back up into the Frigglebits. I think I was supposed to give them fuel too. Hold on, we got to go give them fuel. I think I'm filled up on fuel right now. The Zeppelin, okay. Yeah, I'll contribute some fuel. So that gave us, we lost 10 fuel. That takes us down to 33. We gained 5 Empire of Hands Zeppelin fuel. Oh, really? Only get +5 for giving out 10. Wow, that means you got to haul a whole bunch of that shit out here. I almost said you got to haul a whole bunch of. It was an ugly sentence that was going in weird directions. We've got 5 drowning pearls though for our dedication. That's not too bad, but I'm a little bit concerned about the amount of fuel that I'm going to be dedicating to getting this all done. The amount of fuel that it takes me to get out to this part of the map is considerable. It's actually a lot. Is there anything around here that I need to do? There's hideaway down there. Yeah, let's dive beneath. In all fairness, we're on our way back down to like the Gant Pole and whatnot. And so if I forget any of the things that I need, any of the items of the quest that I'm working on, I apologize. It's probably been a good half a month since I played the game last. It's just I take little breaks here and there to kind of refresh myself and make it so that the game continues to be fun. And also, it's just the channel's been busy lately, but now it's starting to die down a little bit. At least until like February, March, it's going to be kind of slow on YouTube. So now, I'm just kind of settling back and doing the things that I love and the things that I enjoy, as per usual, to pass the time with all of you fine folks. We've got... Oh, the Irrepressible is down there. Alright, well, let's put some rounds on the Irrepressible then. I have canceled your shot, Irrepressible. I believe we've killed the Irrepressible already. Apparently we didn't do a very good job last time. A hiss of horror from the lookout, the glim lamp. Calm people down from the glim lamp. And then get us back into combat. So we've got guns to fire here. I'm going to cancel that volley right there. Stay that volley, Colonel! Oh no, what just happened? Oh, I got terror, but I also got fragments because I guess the terror was full of secrets or something. Either way, we're killing the Irrepressible again. And if I recall correctly, last time, this gave us really good stuff. Cheers reverberate around the bridge, and you've done it. The Untersee's most feared vessel lists and founders with clouds of multicolored gas escaping through rents in her hull. Her stained glass portholes wink and flash. We can either detach the Irigo cannon, which will give us, we close one eye and dwell upon a terrible regret, gives us significant irons. Or we can go after that one right there. I just traded a whole bunch of irons for something else, if I remember right. So recovering my irons might be a pretty good call. I'm going to go ahead and take the 5 irons. The tow cables go taut and you begin to pull the cannon free. The irrepressible shudders as though the weapon were being wrenched out from deep in the vessel's quick. The irigo hue fades from the cannon's mouth as soon as it is free of the hull. The weapon itself is no more than a delivery mechanism, but coiled around the gun is the ammunition stacked in spiral-shaped racks and lustrous with sickly shades of irigo. With it, your engineer adds a permanent irigo sheen to your own black powder. The gunners pronounce themselves delighted with the new destructive power. They'll just have to ignore the whispering coming from the powder store. Dude, we got a store that sells guns inside of our ship. That's how, well-equipped we are right now. We've got our own gunnery developed inside this thing. I also got a free secret from that last part, so that's pretty sweet. Let's head back on into... I think I needed to come over here because I was trying to convince the navigator or something like that from this area that he needed to come back with us. We need romantic literature for the development of the cigar, as I recall. I was kind of racking my memory over the last couple minutes trying to remember exactly what it was as a monster down here. It looks like it's a thallet. Yeah, it's a thallet. Alright, launch some volleys at him. He's going to come about at some point, and he's going to try and fight us, maybe? I don't know. Back up, back up, back up. Oh, we made the shot. Good, but it didn't stagger him for long enough. Also, I'm bad at reversing, so I'm doing this wrong. There we go. Just put it on him real fast. Now that he's been laid out, we're going to go back. We're going to send him down to the Gant pole because we are working on liberating the Oracle using the viscera, blood, sweat, and other substances from monsters. I can let the beast go. Oh, we already sent one to the Gant pole. Yeah, let's dissect it for knowledge. We'll see what happens. You run out of note cards before you run out of... Ah, shit. So we failed, but we did get 1 page for free, which leads me to believe that every time we kill a thallet, we should probably be strongly considering... Where's Estval, by the way? I need to resupply. I'm almost out of food. And that's not a good thing because your people take on kind of a cannibalistic bent if you run out of food. I can rejoin the festivals. Where do they store their goods? So we can open up the shops tab here. I can't buy supplies here. I can sell fuel. I can sell Foxfire candles at a decent price. I can buy strange catches, but I don't really need those either. So back to Hideaway, checking on the investigator. It looks like I don't really have the option... 7 diving suits take up the investigator's room. We're exploring the space between Temtum and its city shell, but we need 5 divers. I have enough sailors right now to go ahead and do that. We can give it a try. It takes 6 crew. Sure. The investigator leads you to the depths of Hideaway. Do you know there's an enterprise to construct kelp farms on the outside of Temtum's cheeks? Which cheeks? The ones on the front or the ones on the back? I don't know if I want to build like a kelp forest on the butt cheeks of a crab. We'll use their hatch to study the shell inside. One after another, you splash into the dark. With your light, you can see the flesh of the beast beneath you. It's bruised, bloodied in some places. In others, it's mere feet from the shell. The investigator points ahead to a thick cable hanging down from above. As it comes more clearly into view, it sparks. The charge results in a convulsing of Temtum's flesh. You return to the city as swiftly as you can, but several of your crew were caught. Ew, no, that sucks. Oh, man. Where did I lost my place when I was... they were caught by Temtum's shifting body and crushed between his shell and his flesh. As soon as you're back in Hideaway, the investigator strips out of his diving suit and flees. So we lost 3 crew, we gained 3 terror, but we gained a secret, so that's pretty good. The impolite investigator has uncovered a distressing truth about Hideaway. And so with miserable realizations, he needs Firkin a prisoner's honey, he needs a cask of mushroom wine, and he needs... Okay, so I'll try to bring some of that stuff back. We have Dark Drop coffee beans with us right now, so that's not too bad. But we got to head down to Estval, and that didn't use up our Something Awaits Us either, which is actually kind of a major feature of that adventure. Not losing my Something Awaits Us is really, really good, because otherwise we're going to be losing some weight in the near future. We're going to be going on a diet. I don't like dieting. I find dieting to be an altogether unsatisfying... They always say, well, I don't know what that dumb phrase is, that they're like, nothing tastes like skinny. And I'd be like, bullshit. I bet ice cream gets pretty close. Ben & Jerry's has definitely got to be on the mark there somewhere. I'd be like, have you ever had beer can burgers? Because I'm pretty sure the fact that you just uttered that sentence means that you've never had a beer can burger. And beer can burgers are among one of the greatest things that you can ever ingest into your mouth hole. So just, you got to silence yourself for a minute and just think about the fact that there are culinary delights out there that I don't think you've crossed that bridge, and they all taste better than skinny. Every single one of them tastes better than skinny. Let's go ahead and Gather supplies. That gave me 11 supplies, but we lost a crew because somebody wanted to stay behind. Little bit of a bummer there, but at least we don't starve to death. I would have preferred to keep everybody on board, but hey, we take the concessions that we are allowed. The sea is a fickle mistress, and that's just the way this goes from time to time. I say we should skeef on down to Rosegate and the Gant Pole. I think that's a pretty good call. I think that's something that's going to be beneficial in the long term. What did I have? I forget what I was supposed to do with him. Shit. It's probably inside my gazetteer, my guzzleteer, whatever. It's inside my bookie thing that I keep all of my plans, man. It's deep inside of there somewhere, and at some point I'll decide that I want to unravel it, but for right now, I'm just going to ignore it and pretend like it doesn't exist. And if it comes back up, it comes back up. This is, after all, a boat that turns into a submarine, then back into a boat, so chances are, at some point, it's going to come back up regardless of what we do. There is a Lorn Fluke down here. With the Lorn Fluke, I don't recall if it's a good idea to be close to it or far away. I simply don't remember. 2 damage right there. I'm going to say that being far away is probably the better plan. Is it running from us right now? I can't see. My UI is in the way. Alright, we're going to get him with a double volley right here. There it was. Now we're taking that health down. He's not trying to chase us, though. Oh, he is. Never mind. Back up, back up, back up, back up. Good. Perfect. Just the right amount of range on there to make sure that we don't get struck. And down goes the Lorn Fluke. That's going to give us access to probably another flute core. Yeah, let's examine we're going to examine the corpse. So we've gotten the deliquescing body is full of incomprehensible organs that collapse at your touch. You sketch what you can. Cock an ear to the departing harmonies of its violent language. At its center, you find a vast lump of resin or congealed gall, the size of a barrel, flawed with darkness. In the false starlight, it's a deep violet purple. Irigo, your doctor whispers, the color of forgetfulness. So we've got 3 secrets and a colossal flute core. It's always worth it to hunt Lorn Flukes if you're having trouble getting secrets. If you're trying to increase your stats, you are going to have to, at some point, focus on killing Lorn Flukes and farm up like 30 or 40 secrets. Then you dump them into a stat, you do some storyline, you rinse, repeat. I find it easier to do that whole thing a bit at a time. Like, I don't like just sitting here camping looking for Lorn Flukes. That kind of bores me. I like to get out and do random stories and stuff like that before I do things that are blatantly, I think, against the spirit of the game. This is not a game where they recommend, like, farming things out. And while you will have to do it from time to time, there's no reason for us to kill Lorn Flukes right now. It's also a pretty good way to make money. Lorn Flukes sell for a decent amount. It never hurts to have 2 or 3 Lorn Flukes just, like, laying around as loot, because a lot of quests use them as, like, a middle to end tier part of completing their quest. Let's see, we can assist the fading Haruspecs. Let's go ahead and do that. This is your last chance to watch the Haruspecs at work. A few pointed jabs with one of the old Sailor's Own harpoons keeps the mob at bay. Sever the flesh, whispers the Haruspecs. Let the entrails form my path. Somewhere in the blood, guts, and blubber, a pattern emerges and she closes her eyes. So we're learning the ways of Haruspicy. Flesh reveals all. We've got 100 fragments right there for a new secret. We've also gotten 5 memories of distant shores. 5 intriguing snippets, so altogether, the Haruspecs prepares to breathe her last. So what can we do now? We get our port report. We're also going to cut flesh for the Chelinet. She sits in a ghoulish tent. It said she's about to die. So can I ask about the Traveler? Fading Haruspex shakes her head. She's seen nothing of it, but nor have I asked. I thought it said this would be my last chance to observe her. But she seems to still be here. What does she see in the bodies of the dead? Hunt Thallets, Behemostaches, Beloveds, or Triskeligans. Okay. Well, I guess it was maybe kind of like a non-committal last time. That's what it's gotta be, right? I don't have enough candles to feel confident about exploring the darkness around the Gant Pole. We really lucked out that the Chelinet is so ridiculously close to the Gant Pole right now. Ooh, it's a Boundling. And it has a very advantageous position for fighting us. A concerningly dominant spot for fighting us. Oh, we lucked out. We hit it really, really hard. Okay. I thought we were going to eat a hit right there. I was hoping that we'd get the ability to recharge some of our stuff. Let's tear the cage from it. So we got 10 hull back. That's great. That saves me a whole bunch of work getting that fixed, and it saves me a whole bunch of random, I think, Admiralty points as well. We've also got 3 hunting trophies, which puts us up to 15. Those are worth a decent amount of cash, and they're really, really good for trading for a number of different services. Good for making money, good for trading and various things like going up to Scrimshander, stuff like that. And 50 fragments. Not bad at all for something that took us all of 8 seconds to conclude. Let's surface and go to the Chellinet, because we've got a couple $100 waiting for us right there if we can drop off some of the blubber. If I remember right, we give it to a vendor there, and he's going to scrape it out of the barrel and make us a little bit of money. I was hoping we'd finally resolve that Haruspicy quest or whatever. I don't know, that Harumancy or whatever it is. Let's go to the Chellinet. We'll drop off the Redolent Flesh Merchant. He's out of business right now. There's the one, shouts one of the members. It's can't pull meat. We'll all be cursed. The Redolent Flesh Merchant turns to you. Smile not quite as drippy. We'd better run. Such superstitious. You escape while he's still trying to choke the word out. Your last sight of him is the mob hurling him from the edge of the shell into the rancid waters below. So much for this trade route. At least he paid in advance. Oh, really? You can only do that a limited number of times. I have never seen that happen before, so I learned a new thing today. We'll get our port report. We can show off a... We've got enough of these. We might as well swap one of them. So there it is. We've lost a hunting trophy and we've gained an outlandish artifact. Unfortunately, that's going to make us lose our something awaits us. So that's a little bit of a disappointment there. I will actually, later on in the game, I prefer to have something awaits me more than almost any other resource, just because it's useful. Let's truck on over to Rosegate. We'll get our task done there. Oh no, hello, Ollie. My kitty co-pilot has decided to join me here today. Say hi, everybody. Feel free, type it in a comment. He actually is literate. He's very, very odd for a cat like that. He's learned human text. At least he's never told me that he hasn't, so I assume he knows what he's talking about. He seems to really, really enjoy reading the interwebs. My dog, on the other hand, more of a Kevin James fan. My dog really likes Kevin James for some reason. Like, if Kevin James is on the screen, my dog is watching. So I suppose that would be a great opportunity for Kevin James to advance his... Ooh, bones. Yes, please. The witherweed is going to damage my hull. However, I will harvest Stygian ivory. That looks good. We just got the one ivory from there. I think this is a critter over here, too. Oh, no, never mind. That's just the... Shit. That was just our little urchin-y friends. Never mind, then. Cat's upset with me because anytime he's in my lap, he expects, like, hands-on. Like, I'm supposed to be all hands on deck, just, like, petting his face and making sure that he's comfortable in every known feline way. I think that's bullshit. Like, nobody makes sure that I'm comfortable all the time, but oh, to be a cat, I guess. Thinking of the things that you could be born as, being born as a modern cat, just having all your whims, being allowed to sleep 15 hours a day, do whatever you want with the rest of the time, especially if you're an outdoor cat. Meanwhile, assuming that your hunt is not successful, they leave food on the porch for you, or food inside. You get to do whatever you want all day, every day, and everybody around you is just an enabler because you're adorable. That's the life to live. That's the one that we're all seeking after, and we've just never been able to attain. The creation of a cigar. So I can drop off with the ambiguous eoliths. We could do that, or we could drop off the romantic literature. I'm going to do the ambiguous eoliths, I guess. So there it is. He weighs an eolith in his hand before tossing it into the air. Dense. Sturdy. He catches and licks the stone. Well-flavored. Perfect. This'll make fine tools. I'll get to work immediately. He turns and strides up the stairs to his workshop. Hammer strikes ring through the floorboards above. So what else can we add into this thing? So, we can actually add that too. We can add them both. All right, add the romantic letters. The crotchety tobacconist scrutinizes the literature through his pince-nez. I don't know what a pince-nez is. It sounds like a sexual organ. I'm like, yo, my pince-nez, it's ready. He carves into pages with a razor and carefully extracts passages of worth. I tell you, he says between puffs of his cigar, reading this made me feel old. Before London fell, I never dreamed of such carnality. Not because I wouldn't desire it, but because I never imagined the possibilities they explore here. Finally chosen, my lord. There it is. Helping prepare the robust labor, a thumping resounds from the workshop above. We need to open a crate, the crotchety tobacconist says. Clayman's already in chains, but we need him on a workbench, and I hope you're ready. Well, there it is. The crotchety tobacconist and his apprentice stand by with chains as you pry open the crate. An unfinished clay man glares from within and growls as you begin removing the planks. Once you've opened it halfway, he roars and hurls his weight forward. The wood splinters, the box breaks, and you sidestep his charge, letting him run directly into the workbench. From there, it's easy to bind him to the table with heavy chains. Well dodged, my lord. Reminds me of when I was young and spry. His apprentice stifles a giggle. We've also got creating something breathtaking for the luscious flavor. The crotchety tobacconist studies the romance's excerpts, their breathless exclamations, such as one might utter after a vigorous regime of calisthenics. My lord, I need you to make a poem with these phrases, and I need it to be badly written. Okay, so there it is. You write with the crotchety tobacconist puffing away behind your shoulder, blowing curling clouds of daffodil-scented smoke over your page. He smirks as he reads and claps you on the back. Fine, nearly too fine. Enough to quicken and curdle the blood. Excellent work. Now we've got helping prepare the luscious flavor. We'll do the harvesting the robust first. The chisel rests on the glass counter. The crotchety tobacconist smiles. We have the tools and the clay man ready, my lord. Shall we? I will shatter him. Take up the hammer and chisel. Crack the clay man where the tobacconist is marked. You work in a miasma of bitter dust and floral cigar smoke. At first, the clay man's shouts drown out the tap of the hammer. Soon, only the hammer rings out. The crotchety tobacconist grabs a fistful of clay shavings from the shattered left arm. He rubs the clay into a fine powder, sniffs it, and beams. This is exactly robust, but with a fierce bite to it. This'll get you blood. Thank you, my lord. This is magnificent. Okay. He still wants to work on this. Let's go for it. We will prepare the luscious flavor. The crotchety tobacconist grins at his reflection in the display cases. I've got one of those mushrooms. What do you call them? A blendy, a brunig, sodded. I've got one in a jar. But first it'll need to care about poetry. Can you bring it around? You spend hours reciting the popular Z ballads of love in Wolfstack taverns, love beneath the decks and love in the far-flung ports, and eventually the crotchety tobacconist stops by to see your progress. He takes your poem from his pocket and presses it against the jar. The Blemmigan bangs pitifully against the glass. Listen, the tobacconist cries, clapping you on the back. Hear that tapping? It's correcting your meter. He cackles, smoke curling upwards from his lips. Well done, my lord. So we'll harvest that. The mushroom is at work upstairs editing your poetry. The crotchety tobacconist looks meaningfully at the razor left open on the counter. Shall we? Carve it up. Don't disturb it, the tobacconist whispers. Just take your knife and, The Blemmigan does not notice you looming over it as it corrects your meter. It does not notice you raising the knife as it considers helpful edits to your rhyme. And when you drive the blade straight through its cap, it just shudders and dies. A viscous purple mixes with the red ink. The tobacconist chuckles and blows a satisfied stream of maple-tasting smoke. Now, my lord, shall I show you how to carve up the little... What does that say? Biter? I think it's blighter. We gotta be getting close. Flavors have been gathered. Now what must be done? The shop will close temporarily once you proceed. The crotchety tobacconist blows a small ring around your head and smiles. Quite right, I think it's time that we finish this. I'll begin my preparations. Come on, what's the tobacconist shouting about now? We're done gathering these flavors, my lord, he shouts as you ascend. We'll make do with what we have. Let's finish this thing. And we'll do that in the next episode. My name is Splattercat. This is Sunless Sea Zubmariner. Let's make ourselves a cigar next time, shall we? Thank you for stopping on in. Hi, everybody. We just murdered a feline jellyfish, and I feel kind of guilty for it. Bye-bye.